What's up, guys, and welcome back to Adventure Archaeology. If you're new here, my name is Brandon. This is my lovely wife Miranda, and today we are mudlarking this creek you see behind us for jewelry. And you may be wondering, jewelry? How are you going to find jewelry in a creek like that? Well, we're looking for broken pieces of glass and pottery that are over a century old that my wife will turn into earrings, bracelets, necklaces, you name it. And she's been doing this for well over a year now. We have all of the equipment to do it, except for one thing that I just purchased and she just found out about, and we're excited to use it on these new pieces that we find today. So let's go see what we can come up with. So here in Alabama, the creeks are incredibly littered, especially in old towns, with sodas and beers and medicines and all kinds of stuff. So if you look right here, to most folks, they're gonna look at it and just see a piece of glass. What I see is a century-old soda bottle. You can see right there where it would have said Works. That would have been a bottling works. Here's another piece to it. You can see where the L-I-N-G is. That would have been part of the bottling. That's off of the same bottle right there. This could have been a piece to as old of a bottle as 1880 or 1890. Almost looks like a hutch piece. Then you get into this green glass. You see how much thinner it is in comparison to that. That's because that's more modern. None of this belongs in the creek. All of it is a hazard to wildlife as well as the people that kayak and canoe here. So what we do is we pick this stuff up, and as mentioned in the beginning of the video, my wife turns it into jewelry, and that helps support our channel. So you got to think we spend a lot of gas money driving around looking for this kind of stuff. So if you ever want some earrings and you want to surprise somebody with them, keep in mind us in our eBay store. So we're on a spot right now where there's a bunch of melted bottles and different pieces. This right here would have been a Jasper, Alabama Coca-Cola bottle. Most bottles from Jasper are pretty valuable. I wish that would have been whole. There's a lot of stuff. Is that a hutch top? Oh no. Thought it was at first. There's a lot of stuff right here though if you look all around. There's glass, terracotta pipe. This is definitely time period stuff. You can tell by how thick the glass is. We find so many of these right here. They would have went in the lid of a mason jar that I've kind of racked my brains trying to think of a way to use these. And I told my wife they're almost the right size to use as a coaster. I don't know if it will fit all cups, but it may fit some of the smaller ones. So my wife says she got a really cool piece. Oh, that is pretty. I forget, don't those normally have like a fisherman or something on them?
I have no idea.
Or a windmill? Because that right there is a, I forget what it's called. It goes around a mule or an ox neck.
A yoke.
Yeah, there we go. I couldn't think of it. And sometimes they have windmills on them and all kinds of stuff. That's a cool piece, babe.
And they come in blue, red, and green.
So she just found a really cool piece, she said. Did you find it? Oh, yeah. So, you can't tell, that would have been a figurine of sorts. That would have been a duck head. And that will be something that will be a really cool pendant or something like that. Oh, that's a pretty piece with a blue one. I like the
little blue flowers.
I do too. That's really cool. And that looks pretty old right there. We can probably get a maker's mark. We've only got half of it there, but we should be able to do the research and figure out what that came off of. But it's going to definitely be time period. That's a pretty blue piece. We're doing pretty good. That's yellow and black. That's a different color. And that's the other thing is we try to find different kinds of colors and pottery pieces that are non-typical, stuff that we don't see a lot of. So here's another old soda, but if you look at it and you know about this kind of stuff, you know that that is a Hutchinson style bottle. Sadly, it's seen better days. This is a very rocky creek and it tears stuff up. I think this was an elephant. That looks like an elephant back right there. This would have been an elephant bottling works from Birmingham, Alabama. That would have been from around 1890. It's crazy to think that this thing's been laying here for that long, and I wish it would have been complete. But with a rocky creek like this one, it makes it much harder to find stuff whole. Here's another piece laying here. And you can see around the bottom, it says this bottle is not to be sold. You can make out the ALA right there for Alabama. Nothing on the bottom. I know that this would have been a Coca-Cola, and it would have been at least a century-old soda bottle. Those panels that we looked at earlier that said bottling on them would have went to a bottle that would have looked like this as well. We are downstream, so the chances of this being from the same bottle is pretty slim. However, this doesn't belong in here. and we can use it for jewelry. So out it comes with us. And I looked down and I thought I saw a turtle. This guy's seen better days. Something got him. But we'll leave it there. We'll grab this on the way out. Here's a backpack. Looks like it washed down the creek.
Got its pin still on there good.
It does. Let's see what's inside. Kind of halfway scared to just go digging through this stuff a lot of times.
It looked like it might have been lures or something.
It does look like worms. So let's see what's in the main compartment.
I'm scared.
Yeah, I know. You never know when it's going to be something you don't want to find.
It doesn't smell dead or anything.
No.
Oh, somebody's backpack.
Their whole backpack.
Like, got their, who it belong to? Oh.
We will leave the name out that's over there on the side. The Love Lady Center. There is clothes.
Shorts.
There's a
Book.
Golly, that's heavy. Ultimate word search. It's seen better. Oh, there's a Bluetooth speaker down in there.
Cool.
It's got a name on the book back there. There's a bra.
You look like you're scared.
Yeah, well. Yeah, there's a giant Bluetooth speaker right there. Look at that. It's one of the cheaper ones. That backpack was slam packed full of stuff.
But she wore like.
We'll see if we can find this lady on Facebook just to let her know, or this kid. Maybe, maybe not. Based upon the stuff that's in there, it looks like kid stuff. But we'll put it all back in the bag, see if we can find her and return it to her. We find almost as many golf balls as we do cell phones when we're in these creeks. I don't know why, but I've started keeping a bunch of these golf balls. And I guess one day we can do like Exploring Alabama does and go out and have a baseball bash and knock them off into a field someplace. First whole bottle of the day. And it's just a ketchup, but it is an early one. Let's see, it's probably a Heinz. These are not incredibly collectible, but it doesn't belong in here, so let's get it out. This piece is beautiful purple colored amethyst from being in the sun for so long. I don't know what kind of bottle this was. It is kind of chipped out right there. All I can make out is what looks to be a U or an O, and then there's a ERRY. Could have been a local flask or a medicine. I'm not sure though. Not enough there for me to identify it. But it's gonna make a really cool jewelry piece. It's funny, just a couple weeks ago, we found the bitters in the creek about 100 miles from here. And look at there, there's another one. That would have been a bitter piece. 1890s medicine. More than likely that was a stomach bitters for the stomach. We always say a lot of jokes about how much stomach medicine was going on back then, and I think it has a lot to do with the amount of whiskey they were drinking. Another really pretty piece of probably red ware. It's thin enough that it'll be easy to work for my wife. I do see a bottom to what appears to be a soda. Yep, that's gonna be a more modern soda. You see how it's got multiple panels around it? That would have been an RC Cola from the 1960s or 70s. Another 100-year-old soda piece. I can tell based upon the heel right there. You see the R, there would have been an R, then an O. That would have been a Riola from Birmingham. Nice early soda. There's a lot of glass in here, but man, we are not seeing anything whole. And that's kind of hurting my feelings. It has changed immensely since we were here last time. You can see over here to the left a log jam that caught a ton of modern litter, which is really sad. So something pretty cool. The creek used to be, the bank was right here. With the last rains, it has eroded over 10 foot to the side. You can see all the roots exposed. And this is exactly what you want to see to try to find bottles, because oftentimes they would have dumped bottles right off of the creek bank, off of the edge, and then with time, topsoil, leaves, stuff like that would build up on top of it. With the erosion, as it comes back, it peels back the layers of trash. I'm not seeing anything right here but a bunch of broken pieces, but I imagine with the next couple of rainstorms that we have in April, this should be a really good spot to come back and check. Nice piece of cobalt. Could definitely be used for something. Let's see what you got. Can you get it out?
See it?
Yeah. Oh man, that is beautiful.
Look at that up in the sun.
Wow. Heck yeah, that's gonna be a great piece of jewelry. So as mentioned in the beginning of the video, we do have a couple of new tools that my wife is going to be using with the jewelry, one of which is going to be like a mini bench grinder. It's got like a built-in Dremel. She's got her main Dremel now in a, basically it's like a mini drill press, which is really handy for her to be able to just bear down a little bit harder to put the holes through there to be able to hook some of these broken pieces of glass together. The other is that belt and disc sander. Now you may be looking at this and going, well, Brandon, that's Central Machinery. You went to Harbor Freight, and you're exactly right, I sure did. This stuff was way cheaper there. We wanted to see if this is gonna work like we want it to. Most of the time whenever it comes to abrasives, grinding rock, stuff like that, I've been selling it for years. Obviously this stuff right here may not have as strong of a horsepower rating, but for what we're doing, it's gonna be fine. But it's gonna depend completely upon the abrasive belts and the rocks that are gonna be used as to whether it's gonna be functional. So we're gonna try these out first. If they don't last long, then we'll replace them in the future. But for now, we're just excited to see if they're gonna do what we want them to. Well guys, I know this was a slower paced video with not as many magnificent finds as some of our past videos, but sometimes this is how it works. And today we really needed to go out and pick some of this glass up before it got washed away in the next storm. These are some of the highlights from what we found. Over here is the last couple of times we've been out. I keep a box in the back of the truck and I just fill it up as I go with stuff that we find. And once it gets full, I take it, move it to the shed. My wife goes through it, decides what she can use and what she can't, and then we toss the rest into the recycle bin. So there again, this stuff will all be made into jewelry soon. I think we're down to either 1 or 2 pairs of earrings on the eBay store. It's always linked in the video description if you're interested in going over there and checking it out. We have not updated the store in the last couple of weeks because we've been on the road and super busy. I'm hoping next week to be able to get everything loaded onto it. So by the 1st of May, maybe this store will be back up and good to go. Apologize for that inconvenience. If you did enjoy the video though, please be sure that you're subscribed as I trip all over my words, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.